Right, are we ready? That wasn't a rhetorical question.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
3! Oh, Jesus, shout a little bit too loud there. 3, 2, 1. What is going on, guys, and welcome to episode... Oh, shit, I've already lost count. Of the BPL show, and today it's a very special episode. Not just because the Premier League has started, not just because I forgot last week's episode, but because we have two guests. We've got guests from previous weeks, but for this week, in a historic week, they're on together. Introduce yourselves, one of you first.
Hi, I'm Lyle, and I run the Drummer Austin channel. Yeah, thanks for having me on, Cam.
You could have sounded much more of a bell end than you just did.
Yeah, hi, I'm Harry. I don't run any channel at the moment. Just give me time.
Yeah, time is the word. And where better to start than the game that started... Actually, no, let's not do that. What we're going to do is we're going to start this video with what I've been moaning about all week, sorry. And that is this whole Jose Mourinho and the medics. Essentially what I'm asking is, because I've already given my opinion on it, I'll probably give my opinion again. If you want to see the video of my opinion... it is down. I'll put it in the description so you can go check that out. Harry, your thoughts on the whole incident, and be honest. I know I'm a Chelsea fan. Harry's a Norwich fan and Lars a Man United fan, if you didn't know. Be honest. I'm not going to shout at you, probably.
I voiced my opinion on your
Yeah, but these people haven't seen that, Harry. This is your chance to stand up and be
where's
counted.
where did I put my thing?
Oh, for
I
God's
said
sake.
something about I'm gutted because she's fit. She's a really fit doctor.
And that literally proved my point. That proved my point. The video that I'd done was exactly stating that, and you proved it. So for that, I thank you, Lyle. If you've got a bit more of an in-depth opinion than that bizarrely stupid one.
You didn't even let me give my answer.
All right. I'll let him finish.
It was, obviously. Lyle, did you see this?
I believe I did.
It was okay, because then you just said, okay, so...
How are you going to
she's
spit it
a
out?
very good doctor who does her job well, and then while Mourinho thinks he's doing a good thing, it was disappointing to see him, apparently, according to BBC Sport, humiliate her. So, I think he should apologise.
Okay, so in other words, you don't have an opinion. You're just sitting on the fence, or just going along with everybody else. Lyle, your opinion.
I'm just standing.
Well, my initial thoughts were that she was doing her job. She saw that their star player of Eden Hazard was injured.
I can tell you something. I'm sorry for interrupting, but Hazard was bad at the weekend. I mean, we'll get on to talking about that. Sorry for interrupting, but
she ran onto the pitch as any normal physio would do, but as Eden Hazard is Chelsea's star key player, and they would be down to 9 men.
8.
He didn't.
8 outfield.
Actually.
This is what Mourinho is saying.
And then they would be pretty much useless. So I can see where Mourinho is coming from, because they're all Chelsea. I can't even speak. Hazard is Chelsea's main player, but at the end of the day, the physio's only doing her job, and I do agree that she is a bit fit. So
There we go.
it's a bit sad that she's leaving.
Number 1, she isn't leaving. Number 2 is no, she's been demoted to the bench. Number 2 is the fact, and again, you both proved my point. If it wasn't for the fact that she was attractive, there would not be a media outburst like there's been. Because, and I quote, 2 of you didn't mention the other guy who's had exactly the same treatment to him. I bet you 2 don't even know his name. Exactly the same treatment. Instead, you referred to it all as it was her who was being called naive. Now, some people I think are deluded to call her Mourinho.
Know her name.
are calling Mourinho sexist because he called her naive and said she didn't understand the game. That's not true. He called the physio team as a whole naive and that they didn't understand the game. And whenever a woman's involved in a situation like that, it's always going to have the feminists who come out and make it out into a point that it's not. And for me, Mourinho's done what he wanted to do. Whether you agree with him or not, he's made the decision, and I think we should all just move on. Mourinho, I personally feel, has done this to get the media off his team and his poor performance at the weekend. Not Mourinho's, but the team's poor performance. And on that note, Swansea-Chelsea. Final score 2-2. Thoughts on the game, Harry?
I feel like the game and stuff, obviously from Swansea's perspective, was fantastic for them. Like that's a quality result against the champions on the first day, making a statement. Obviously, I do like Swansea as a team. I think they play very well. And Gomez, oh my word, what a player!
Lyle?
I'm going to take a bit more of a Chelsea's point of view here.
Right.
That, in my opinion, I felt the defence was pretty all over the place, to be honest. Even though Swansea did play well, the whole team didn't play well. And the red card for Courtois, I don't know if I agree with the red card or not. I can't make a decision, but overall, I thought it was a good result by Swansea, and Chelsea just need to improve and train, and then they will get better because they proved it last year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a Chelsea fan, so again, if you want my Chelsea versus Swansea review, I'll put that in the description as well. But, it was disappointing, I'm not going to lie. It is worrying signs. I mean, we've got the game against Manchester City. Obviously, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But, there are positives to draw out of it. I thought Oscar looked very good. I thought he was by far the best player in regards to Chelsea on the pitch. I mean, the Courtois red card, yeah, I agree with the penalty. I agree with that decision. It obviously wasn't offside. The red card, I don't know. Was it an obvious goal-scoring opportunity? I can see it both ways, but obviously the referee's given it as a red card. But no, it is worrying, to say the least. I don't think we played very well at all, and I think, to be honest, we were lucky to get a point, and I think Swansea, if either team, deserved all 3 points. The 2 goals we scored both had a stroke of luck to them. On a Swansea point, I thought he played very well. That goal he scored, perseverance there. His first game in the Premier League, I thought he'd done very well. I quite like Swansea. Obviously, I'm a Chelsea fan, so I didn't want them to get any points out of it. But it looks a bright season again for them. And Gary Monk has done something I don't think any of us saw coming. Unbelievable, really. But yeah, so that's just my thoughts on the Chelsea game. That's all our thoughts on the Chelsea game. We'll move on to the Man United game. We'll start with you, Lyle. You can introduce the game and etc. and just give me your thoughts. And I'll put Lyle's review of the game in the description as well. I'll put fucking links to everything in the description. But if you want to go check out his actual official review, then go check it out. But yeah, Lyle.
Well, it was the Manchester United versus Tottenham, kicked off the whole Premier League at Old Trafford. One of the biggest games in the first game for ages, and I felt both teams played pretty bad, to be honest. United only getting the 1 shot on target, which I believe was the Kyle Walker own goal, and there we still need a lot more signings. There's not that killer instinct of a striker to score our goals, even though Rooney was about to score it. Kyle Walker assisted, but both teams played pretty bad, in my opinion. From Man United point of view, we were pretty lucky to get the 3 points. In the first half, Tottenham were knocking at the door, and probably they should have scored, or Eriksen should have made that chance where he sort of dinked. I can't even remember what our goalkeeper's name is anymore.
That is terrible, Lyle.
I know, Romero, that's the one. I thought he played well as well. Darmian, I thought, in my opinion, he was the man of the match.
Really?
And Chris Smalling had a good game as well. Harry Kane, I didn't see much of him at all. And yeah, I just thought both teams were pretty poor, in my opinion.
Harry?
Well, what is it to say other than, what has been said? It was probably one of the more boring than the Norwich game, which is,
The Norwich game was entertaining. I was there.
Exactly, yeah.
And that was a hell of a game.
Not only put into perspective as, last time But now
What if
Man
you-
United are the boring ones, so...
Boring. United. That's a new chant.
Boring United, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is meant to be one of the big games in the Premier League, and no one really stepped up to perform in this sort of game. There were good performances by some players, don't get me wrong. Darmian, I thought, was okay. And then, but the big stars didn't really, perform. Like, Kane was quiet, obviously. And, it's not really what you come to expect in what is supposed to be the best league in the world.
Well, it was a disappointing way to open the season. I think, as the big game to open the season, for it to be that was a little disappointing. But, at the end of the day, United got 3 points, and it doesn't matter how you get them. If you get them, I think, for me, I didn't watch the whole game, but then I watched most of the game and missed the end, and then had to obviously catch up on some highlights, so I can't talk about the whole game. But I didn't think Kane done that bad. I thought Chris Smalling dealt with him very well. I thought Chris Smalling had a great game. Darmian again, I thought he impressed me, to be honest with you, being so he was a bit of a bizarre signing. The goalkeeper, I don't really care as I'm not a United fan, but he doesn't feel with much confidence, personally. And when you got De Gea on the bench, who he was able to play, there was no reason why he wouldn't be able to play. I think it just shows again how Van Gaal's just a twat. Really, I'm sorry, this is my opinion. You say you need more signings. You've spent I don't know how much in the last 2 seasons, yet 200 million odd, yet you still need more signings. Surely you've got to look at the man making the signings at this point, which is Van Gaal, and say he isn't spending his money properly. Just my opinion. I thought Tottenham done better and deserve a bit more credit than they're getting. Depay was disappointing. I know it's only his first game of the season, but for a guy who's going to emulate Cristiano Ronaldo at Man United, I was a little bit disappointed. I don't think he lived up to the hype that Man United fans are giving him. Lyle, your response?
Yeah, I thought Depay had a slow, very, very slow start to the game, and it was only in the very latter stage of the second half that he actually had that one chance of setting up a good goal, which got an opportunity that did lead to nothing. And I partially agree with the signings that Louis van Gaal has made. I thought Darmian was going to be a pretty poor signing, but out of all of them, really he's the only one in that game that showed like actually being worthwhile the money. But you're only talking on the basis of one game, so I'd start looking at it maybe after 6 games to see if his signings are being poor. But then after 6 games, the window won't be open anymore, and United are going to have another poor season.
Well, yeah, go on, continue. Were you saying something?
No, I'm done. I'm done with Louis van Gaal.
I know you're not a massive lover of him as a United fan. I know there are a few United fans out there that aren't a massive lover of him, and you can't blame him really, because I do think he's completely another prat. Although a lot of people think Mourinho's a prat, but at the end of the day, each their own really. So we've spoken about the Man United game, the Tottenham game. I think you've got to take all this with a pinch of salt. It's the first game of the season at the end of the day, so I don't think we should draw into it too much. But Arsenal, the league's over for them. They lost to West Ham on the first day. What the hell was that all about? I want to tell you a little story. I was at the Community Shield final at Wembley. It was, a disappointing result for Chelsea. We wanted to win the Community Shield, but we weren't particularly fussed. They celebrated it like they'd won the World Cup. I've never seen anything like it. They were on Twitter. I was seeing treble, and then you think to yourself, Arsenal won the treble, and then you realise that they've won the pre-season treble because they were counting the Asia Cup and the Emirates Cup and the Community Shield. I really don't know, but they were not just the Community Shield. They were also including the BARCLAY'S Asia Trophy, where they played the Singapore X11, and the Emirates Cup as well. But that just shows you Arsenal fans, and let me just tell you, that wasn't every Arsenal fan. That wasn't every Arsenal fan, but I can remember walking out of Wembley Stadium a little bit down as a Chelsea fan. I'm still bloody down now. And hearing Arsenal fans, not just one, not just two, a good fair few of them singing, "We're going to win the league," and are you going to believe us, and are you going to believe we're going to win the league? And I just thought it was absolutely hilarious when West Ham United done a job on them. Fantastic performance from West Ham United. What a performance from young Reece Oxford. What a player. What were your thoughts on the games? I don't care which one he starts, to be honest with you.
Go on, Harry. I thought, the whole festival, especially Reece Oxford, for a 16-year-old boy, to be, coming up against under massive pressure, one of the teams in the Prem, and then, dealing with Mesut Ozil so well. And, I think the whole West Ham team played very well, don't get me wrong. I think Zarate did well on his goal. I think, Hayes' debut was very good.
I thought he was stunning.
There you go.
Lyle?
Arsenal was shit. They just were. West Ham played like, Chelsea last season. They just did. They had an absolutely brilliant performance, and it's an absolutely brilliant way to start the season. And I just loved seeing Arsenal lose after their supposed treble they won. Going to lose 2-0 to West Ham is a pretty poor way to start the season. But West Ham played absolutely brilliantly. Probably one of the best performances in the whole Premier League on the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another note needs to be said, because I think Arsenal now know that they just need to be careful. When Courtois gets sent off in a game previously, before they've played, they just need to be careful before they can't start tweeting about it. Because, do you want Czech back? Do you want Czech back? Czech at fault for 2 goals. How does that feel, Arsenal fans? Yeah, we don't want him back. Great legend. He's gone to Arsenal to fuck your season up. Moving on. Arsenal, though, going back ever so slightly. Do you think it's all doom and gloom for Arsenal, or do you just think, bit of complacency first game of the season?
Me? Alright, okay. I just think they were getting a bit ahead of themselves, really.
Yeah.
I think, they did very well in pre-season, I'll give it to them, but I think that all went to their heads, and they just thought they could go up and walk the game, and came back to bite them, really.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you when actually, no, I'm not going to say that yet. I'm going to save that simile for later on. I'm going to say probably Arsene Wenger, being that they're supposed to be on the treble and a really good pre-decent, he maybe didn't think they needed to sign a striker.
Yeah.
But now that they've lost to West Ham and had a pathetic first game, maybe that's kicked him up the arse, and he might finally recognise that they have the money to spend to make them actual title contenders, to then go out and buy the likes of Benzema, because they need a striker or a centre forward, same thing as United do. I believe if they don't sign a striker, they will have another pretty poor season and will finish probably in the same place and won't gain any positions on Chelsea or Man City at all.
Okay, my question. If they sign Karim Benzema, which personally I don't think will happen, does that then make them title favourites?
No.
No.
Well, here's the thing. Going into the season, I thought they would have been, I thought they would have contended for the title. I don't think they would have beaten Chelsea. I thought Chelsea were favourites going into the season, as they were in the bookies. But I thought that it would be close between them and Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think if they did sign somebody who had the quality that Benzema has, I think that would really throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
Right, yeah. I mean, personally for me, I don't think that Benzema is necessarily the solution to all of Arsenal's problems. Because at the end of the day, they didn't lose that game against West Ham because they didn't have a striker. They lost that game against West Ham because they could not defend. And a lot of Arsenal fans were saying it. I love watching Arsenal fan TV when Arsenal lose. It is like a comedy show. It's like Comedy Central. And a lot of them were saying Mertesacker is absolutely awful. He's terribly slow and shouldn't be in the Arsenal team. I think that the root of the problem could lie in the defence and possibly with a holding midfielder. They rely a lot on Coquelin, who, had a good half a season, but surely they need someone else there. For me, Arsenal just aren't. I just don't think they've got enough to win the title, really. I can see Chelsea doing it. I can see City doing it. I can just about see United doing it, but even that I'm a little bit iffy. But I just cannot see Arsenal doing it. Anyway, that's it for the Arsenal game. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about Norwich because we've done every other team that's been supported here other than Norwich. Norwich 1, Crystal Palace 3. It flatters Crystal Palace. It's a harsh score on Norwich. I was there at Carrow Road. Harry, I'll let you start because it's your team. What was your thoughts on the game?
I was thoroughly disappointed. I mean, I wasn't at the game, though I was coming back from my holiday, but I was looking at everything. I was, watching things, and it seems I think it should have been a draw, really.
I was at Shadow Down.
Both teams played very well, obviously, and I feel like, it would have been fine. I think Jerome's goal, which was spectacular, should have been allowed, and I think what is the referee doing? I think he should go home and stay home. And I don't know, making death threats. But yeah, I think it should draw realistically, and I think that if we play to a certain standard, I think we played quite well. So I think if we play to that standard, we should be alright in the Premier League. I think.
Lyle?
I felt it came down to Crystal Palace took their chances. Norwich had chances, but they wouldn't go in the back of the net. So I was listening to this bloke on Sky Sports News.
Oh, you gotta love it.
And he said that it's similar to what happened when Norwich got relegated. They had bunches of chances, but they just didn't take them, and I feel that is what happened.
Well, I mean, I disagree with his comment ever so slightly, because I think half the reason why Norwich went down is because they didn't create enough chances because of the way Houghton played, and the fact that they didn't bring on a striker until the 88th minute when the game was pretty much all said and done. So I don't necessarily agree with his comment. I don't know what you think of that, Harry. Do you agree with that guy's comment?
I agree. I mean, he was pretty useless as Houghton, wasn't he? I mean, 88 minutes will bring on one striker when we're 2 goals down. And, it's not like it was Johan Almanda most of the time. That's not what you want to see as a Norwich fan.
My thoughts.
Swedish man who's not very good.
My thoughts on the game. Obviously, I was there. I don't think really. I think Norwich deserved a draw at the least. I mean, Graben. Them 2 chances that he missed. I mean, you cannot miss them chances in the Premier League. It's as simple as that. It was really disappointing. I was at that end when Graben scored. I was jumping up. I was celebrating. I thought he'd scored until I realised everybody else wasn't celebrating, and I was like, oh, perhaps he hasn't scored. So. It was disappointing. I mean, the referee was absolutely awful. The Jerome goal, where on earth in his mind he decided to disallow that, I'll never know. It's a fantastic goal, and I think they done it on Match of the Day or somewhere I was watching where they looked at the goal that Pella scored last season against QPR, and they said exactly the same thing happened. The defender came across, put his head in, literally identical situation. The goal stood. Everybody was talking about it. It was one of the best goals in the season. Jerome's goal should have stood. It would have then been 2-2. And Norwich then, in my opinion, could have gone on and got the win. So I think Crystal Palace are very, very lucky that they got that win. And that Johan Kabay goal at the end was literally Norwich bombing forward, pushing forward, and they got caught on the break. But I wouldn't worry about that too much. And as Harry said, I have no concerns with Norwich getting up. And I'm gonna put my neck on the line here, because if Norwich City get relegated from the Premier League, I will walk out onto the street naked, and I will run down the street naked. That's how convinced I am that Norwich City are going to stay in the Premier League. A question staying on Norwich City, mainly probably for Harry, because well, I mean, I will ask Lyle, but I don't know how much he saw of Norwich last season. Lewis Graben, is he good enough in the Premier League as a Premier League striker?
Here's the thing, he was. I thought he was even good for the Championship. He had a good beginning to the season, boiled off completely. Saw barely anything of Graben for the second half of the season.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to cut together in Premier League level either.
Right. Lyle?
I can't really comment.
Right.
So
Okey-dokey.
I'm not going to say anything that I don't have anything to back up on.
But I agree with Harry. I don't think he's Premier League quality. Even as you say, Harry, I always said last season, and you can back me up on this, that even though when he scored at the start, I still wasn't convinced about him because the goals weren't that fantastic. I don't think he's a Premier League player. I think Jerome, I think he looked very good when he came on. Obviously scored that goal. I think he could do well in the Premier League. He's done well, obviously, in the past, kind of in the Premier League. So yeah, but you definitely need a striker. I'm hearing Ross McCormack. Surely not.
The name that's been thrown around at the moment is Matt Destro.
Well, yeah, but that one's been thrown around, but that's highly unlikely because supposedly he wants to stay in Italy. I mean, that would be the ideal signing, but you know, I know a lot of the problem is a lot of the players that people want, you know, the Charlie Austin's, etc. I just don't think Norwich are going to be able to get them because of the wages. That's the problem. You know, I think Charlie Austin would be a fantastic player to get, but I just don't think you'll be able to get him because of the wages. There's another striker. I've completely forgot his name. It'll probably come to me at some point in the episode that you're linked to. But no, just a random name. But you certainly need another striker, I think. So yeah, but you know, not a bad performance.
You're
Not.
on about
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, exactly. That is him.
There you go.
So yeah, I heard that one's probably the most likely out of them all, from what I've heard. So anyway, that's the Norwich game. A little bit disappointing, but not necessarily disappointing with the performance, but disappointing more with the performance of the bloody fucking ref, who, believe it or not, was refereeing his first Premier League game on the opening weekend of the Premier League. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Right, we need to skip over a few relatively quickly. Leicester City 4-2 winners against Sunderland. Very for Claudio Ranieri, you know, I thought he was going to be defensive. I thought this was Mourinho version 2 because when he was at Chelsea, he used to play some of the most defensive football I've ever seen. Yet they scored 4 goals and they beat Sunderland. Dick Advocate looking a bit like a dick, really, for not listening to his wife. What do you think of that? Not the last comment, the actual game.
What, me?
Yeah.
Start?
You have to fucking cough every time before you start, you know, little statements.
You what?
Yeah, just forget it.
I was really impressed with Leicester. I thought it came down to just the surprise, which then led to them scoring the 4 goals. It was a brilliant performance, and Sunderland were a bit bad, but they still scored 2 goals.
Great analysation there
Awesome
from Lyle. Sunderland were pretty bad. I love it. Harry, can you enlighten us on the game?
Well, I think, Ranieri and Leicester, they did very well here, I think. And, you know, Mahrez especially.
Oh, he looked phenomenal.
He causing havoc. And, you know, I think Leicester have got it down. I think they're going to do well this season. They're not going to obviously be up there because that's just being silly.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to survive and be solid again. And, you know, especially with that wing play as well that they've got going on, I like that. And no, I think that'll do well.
Yeah, well, see,
Sunderland, on the other hand, no.
Well, see, I said that Leicester. I actually at one point said that I think they're going to go down, but after this performance, I really don't think it. They look like a new team. What else we got to talk about? Everton Watford 2-2. Everton another. This was, when you look at the fixtures they've got coming up, this was a game they needed to get points from, really. Because they're not going to get many points from the next few, so it's going to look like they've had a really, really bad start of the season, which they will have done, but it's mainly due to the fixtures. Disappointing Everton or good Watford? You know, surprising Watford. Which one was it? Do you think Everton were bad or Watford were just good? Lyle.
Lyle. Okay. I thought it was a bit of both, but then I thought it came down to Watford just being too good for Everton. I still don't really think Everton have that. What's needed? I can't really explain what it is, but it's just
That X factor.
Yeah, they don't have X factor. But Watford, yeah, I thought that Troy Deeney bloke was good. Most of their team was pretty good as well. Who actually scored the 2 goals? I can't remember.
What for Watford?
Yeah, for Watford.
I'll get it out.
Igalo.
Igalo scored one, yeah.
Oh. That's news to me because I actually forgot who scored the 2 goals. But yeah, just to shorten it, I thought it came down to Watford having a good performance, which is what they needed because, as you said, they have some tough fixtures coming up.
Yeah, I mean, Barclays' goal was phenomenal. That was something special. Harry, your thoughts on the game?
I thought Watford played well here. I think all the promoted teams did quite well here. I think Watford did probably.
Oh, I disagree with that. I don't think Bournemouth done well, but I mean, we'll get on to that. But yeah, continue.
I think that Watford got the best result out of all the promoted teams, and especially against Everton, who are a solid team. Don't get me wrong, not quite what they used to be, but they're still a solid team, and I think Watford did quite well here.
Yeah, I mean,
they showed up.
It's strange because Everton haven't changed all that much to when they were nearly got the top 4. What the hell has happened? Can you pinpoint anything, Harry, as to why Everton have all of a sudden gone down? Is it just the fact that, is it the manager? Is it the players? What? I don't understand. It's a bit of a weird one.
I'm trying. I don't really know. I think it could just be. I think it's Martinez trying to think with a few things, and it's not quite going well, and it's obviously just not working out, is it?
No.
Also, the fact that they played like one person who I've never heard of.
What the?
So
Who was that?
Klopp or whatever.
Who? What?
They played like Drew Galloway.
Yeah, Drew Galloway's a good player. He played in under 21s for England. No, I mean, it is what it is. Bournemouth, Villa. Villa, Rudy Gustetti looks a good player. I think he'd have been perfect for Norwich, but Tim Sherwood gets a win for Aston Villa against Bournemouth. Bournemouth, I thought, were really disappointing in their pathetically.
Hold your wagon. Did you say Aston Villa?
Yeah, that's what I call them. Bournemouth in their pathetically small stadium, which is an embarrassment in my opinion. And they have, if they stay in the Premier League, they've surely got to extend that because it is an embarrassment. Callum Wilson, I didn't think looked great. But, I mean, it is only the first game of the season. So yeah, do you think? What do you think? Have you changed your mind on how Bournemouth are going to do this season after that result? Either of you?
After that result, but it's hard to call because after just one result, as I said, you've got to really look at it after maybe 6 games. But
Yeah.
after probably this one result, I reckon out of like all of the 3 that went up last season, I reckon Bournemouth will be the one to go down after that result. But you can't really pinpoint like just after one result, as
Yeah.
I keep saying.
Harry?
In my opinion, I thought Bournemouth's season was a one-season wonder.
So did I.
And I don't think they've got what it takes, to be quite honest. And I did say that they all did well. I think Bournemouth were doing well because they had the draw at this point, and then just there they came and obviously just shat in their cornflakes.
Yeah.
And then just a way to put it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Bournemouth will be the ones going down.
Right.
That
relegated teams. 2 more teams to do. We'll quickly do them and then we'll get on to the predictions for this week. We'll start with Stoke Liverpool. I nearly forgot it because it was a really forgettable game. It was terribly boring until the Brazilian magician, who is literally where Liverpool would be without Coutinho, I don't know, scored a phenomenal goal. A great result for Liverpool. Not necessarily a great performance, but what do you think of that whole game? Do you think Stoke will have a good season? Because I personally think they'll have a really good season.
Personally, I think brilliant goal by Coutinho. He saves Liverpool once again with a phenomenal goal.
Yeah.
Stoke looked probably the better team out of the 2 because knowing me, that was the one game that I chose to watch and it was shit. But Stoke showed some very good signs, and now they've recently signed Shaqiri as well.
What a signing that
is!
is.
So he's going to add to their threat as well. away with the 3 points. Doesn't matter how they did it, but shite game, to be honest.
Yeah. Harry?
I think, so I personally think Stoke are going to be a team that are going to improve upon last season, especially with the quality signings they've made. And Mark Hughes is a great manager. I know that when he first came in, they were making fun of him.
Oh, I think he's a top
great
manager.
And so, I think they're a solid team and they'll do very well. I just think, and it goes to show here that Liverpool, well, are supposedly a good team. I'm not going to say anything. You know my opinion, both of you. But it took a moment. It took a moment of magic to defeat Stoke, and I think that will have to be the case with a lot of teams this season.
Yeah, so I personally think it's Liverpool's year. I think it's their year. I really do. So moving on, I don't think it's Liverpool's year. I think.
I was going to say, are you being serious?
Oh, I was being sarcastic. I mean, there is more chance of Norwich. No, that's disrespectful to Norwich. There's more chance of Bournemouth winning the league than Liverpool, in my opinion. Moving on, Newcastle, Southampton. I thought it was a really fun game to watch. And that sounds stupid, but I actually thought it was like, you get in WWE, you get one of the matches that you don't really expect to be that good. A couple of mid-carders, and it actually produced quite a fun match. I thought it was quite a fun game and a result that I think was probably, positives for both teams. And I think both teams are going to have a really good season. And Wijnaldum, or however the fuck you say his name, looks stunning. What were your thoughts on the game, Harry?
This was another one of those games. I thought, well, I think I said to you, was it you I said to before the season began that I think Newcastle were going to finally get up to back where they sort of were a few seasons ago.
I think you might have mentioned something.
I think, that is, especially against Southampton, who are another very, very solid team, very well-run club. And I think that Newcastle showed that they can do the business again now. And, good for them.
Do the business. I couldn't put it better myself. Lyle?
In my opinion, it was the best game out of the whole lot. It was the best game to watch. Both teams looked very promising. Obviously, Keller and Long get goals for Southampton, and Wijnaldum and Cisse get the goals for Newcastle. Wijnaldum, that's how I like to pronounce it because it sounds cool.
Right.
But he looked cool. He looked good. And Mitrovic also looked pretty decent as well. They look both like they're going to have a very good season. Newcastle obviously going to have a better season than they did, and they definitely won't get or be contenders for getting relegated this season.
Oh, bold statement. Steve McLaren's in there. A bit bizarre, really, because, he didn't do great at Derby last season, yet got the Newcastle job. Mitrovic, I don't think he done fantastic. He came on after about 60 seconds, nearly got himself sent off. He seems like a live wire, but, I like them sort of players that play on the edge, because, obviously, there's Diego. But no one's going to play on the edge quite like Diego Costa. Anyway, moving on, we nearly forgot another relatively entertaining game. I say relatively because it wasn't really, but Manchester City versus West Brom, 3-0 City. Wow.
Lyle.
Okay. Well, I watched this game as well, and in the for the first 20 minutes, it was like basically 100% possession to Manchester City. They did what was needed of them, apart from they got the goal in the 9th minute by David Silva, which was a Yaya Toure shot, but did take a deflection from David Silva.
Right.
But anyway, it was pretty inevitable that City were going to win because West Brom did look poor in the first half. Yaya Toure got the second goal in the 24th minute, and in the second half, West Brom started to attack a bit more, and but they still didn't look anything special. That Chester bloke, he wasn't that good, to be honest. And then Vincent Kompany getting the goal in the 59th minute. But in my opinion, when the first goal went in by David Silva, the game was already over. Having their 20 shots with only 7 on target, though, is a bit poor.
Kompany was pumped. Can I just say that? Harry, your thoughts on the games? Game.
Well, I think it's just Man City are another team who are going to contend for that title, and they've shown it here. obviously they've got a great team. Obviously, that's what happens when you have very rich Arabian men running your club. But I think I thought West Brom would have done better here, considering that they,
I just don't think they shoe up.
But I don't think they didn't.
I just think.
I think that Man City, I think are just too good for a team like West Brom.
I don't think West Brom are a bad side. I don't think they have a bad season. I just think it was a bit of a blip. City looked good, but there are still problems in that City side. The defence still doesn't look great. But do you think this result? Do you think now Manchester City are favourites for the title, Lyle?
No, it is, as Harry said, it's only against West Brom. They've got Chelsea next, and if they can put a couple past Chelsea and get the win, that will then spice things up and determine who is there for the taking of the title.
Right, Harry.
Sorry, what?
Do you think Manchester City should now be classed as title favourites?
I don't think they should be classed as title favourites. I think they should be classed as title contenders. They're I think they're one of three teams that I think are going to get the title.
I think there's only two teams in it, really. But we're going to now go through the predictions for the following week. You're all going to say it. I'm going to write it down. And next week, we'll see who wins game week 2. We're going to start with Aston Villa. No score. Aston Villa versus Man United. So you literally need to say Aston Villa, Man United, or draw. We'll start with Harry. Then we'll go to Lyle. Then we'll go to me. Harry?
Wait, I just completely lost what I was thinking. Can you repeat the question?
Aston Villa or Man United or a draw? There's not much to it, love.
Man United.
Right, thanks, Lyle. I'm going to go Man United as
No
well.
worries.
Right, Harry, are you going to make a decision or are we waiting until the actual game fucking kicks off? Oh, did you? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Southampton, Everton. Harry. Oh, fucking hell. God, he takes all fucking year. Lyle.
Draw.
Oh, the first draw of the game. I'm going to go Southampton as well. Sunderland versus Norwich City. Which team's going to bounce back? Or will neither?
Come on, you Gallopers.
What? So I'd take that as a Norwich. Lyle.
Norwich.
I think a draw, but I'm going to go Norwich. Obviously I want Norwich to win. Swansea, Newcastle.
Oh, that's a difficult one, that is. In fact, I won't go first for this one.
You've got to... fuck's sake. What, just so you can copy someone else?
I'm going to go. Oh, this is like a good game. This is going to be a good game to watch. Swansea.
Newcastle, edgy, actually.
Newcastle away from home. I'm going to go Swansea. They're at home. They look very good against Chelsea. I think they'll get another win. Tottenham Hotspur versus Stoke City. Who's going first? I'll go first. Tottenham. I don't know. Yeah, Tottenham. I'm going to go Tottenham, but I can see it being a draw. Or a Stoke win, to be honest. Anything could happen. It's been another good game and actually to watch. Draw.
I don't know. I'm gonna go Stoke.
Stoke City. So a draw. Tottenham Hotspur and Stoke. We've all gone for something different. Very rare. Watford, West Bromwich Albion.
I think Watford could win this one.
No.
This is another tough one as well.
Watford at home, by the way.
I am going to go for another draw.
Sitting on the fence, you gotta love it. I'm gonna go for West Bromwich Albion, an away win. I think Pulis will be right into them boys, and they'll be out getting a win. West Ham versus Leicester City.
West Ham.
West Ham.
West Ham.
3 West Hams. Easy as that. Only a few more games to go. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Now this one could be a cracker.
I think that Crystal Palace. Actually, no, draw. Sorry.
Jesus Christ. It's another person sitting on the fence. Lyle. Me. Well, I was about to say my own name. I don't know. I actually want to go for a draw now. So, but I'm going to... I know if I go for a draw or a Crystal Palace, then Arsenal will end up winning. So I might as well just go for Arsenal winning. Lyle? Arsenal, they won the treble. We'll leave that one. Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Liverpool. Lily pad? Liverpool. I can actually see Bournemouth getting a draw out of this game because I just think they're going to respond, but I'm going to go for Liverpool. And the final game, Manchester City versus Chelsea. Don't say Chelsea or a draw just because I'm sitting here. Honest opinion.
I think draw.
Lyle?
Oh my god. City.
You think Manchester City?
Really?
Twat. I think... I actually... If I had to... Oh, it's a difficult one because I'm going to put Chelsea down. But personally, I can see it getting absolutely stuffed. And I never thought I'd say that. I honestly can say I was getting beat 4-5-0. And that sounds stupid, but I can. But you got to believe. Chelsea are the champions. I'm going to say that for the rest of this season because going on the fucking Swansea result, I ain't going to say it after. But thanks to both of you for joining me for the BPL show. What I think we're going to do, because we've done a lot of reviewing last week's games, I think there's going to be kind of like 2 shows to the BPL show, if that makes any sense. So what we'll do on a Tuesday is we'll review the results, and then on a Friday we'll preview the game. So it's kind of a 20-minute video, but you get 2, if you get what I mean. So like 2 times 20 rather than a 50-minute one. So yeah, thanks to both of you for joining me. Hopefully at some point throughout the season we'll be able to do one where you can actually see us, but at the moment we obviously have to do it on Skype. If you've got any other features that you guys can think of, you know, to include in the BPL show, leave it down in the comments below, and I probably have put something at the start of the video, but if any of you out there want to get involved in the Barclays Premier League show, and if anybody's got a better name, then please leave it in the comment section below. But if any of you want to get involved, I'm going to do it where you can... What I need you to do quite simply, and I know no one will do it, but if you do, and I've had a couple of people ask, but what you need to do is quite simply upload a video of yourself, just sort of talking a little bit about football, what team you support, etc. Upload it to YouTube. You can upload it, make it unlisted if you don't want other people to see it, and then send me the link either through Twitter or through my Facebook, or you can send it through Skype. I'll leave our Skype thing, or you can put it, comment it on this video. And then, yeah, essentially I'll watch that, and then I'll pick one of you in the future, if there's any of you, and one of you can join us on the panel of guests. So that's the way you can get involved in the BPL show. I'll probably put this at the start of the video, but anyway, that's essentially it for this video. If you haven't enjoyed it, please leave a like, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.